World, sometimes everything doesn't go your way. What up? It's Tommy D. The show is Philanthropy and Focus. And I tried to hit a button, and the next thing I knew, the screen shut down and I wasn't here anymore. Every single week, every single Friday morning. Now I'm out of breath. I crawl, I walk, I skip up the stairs to get to the top of my house just below the roof. That's right, I'm in the attic. This is somewhere in the 180 episode range of an idea that I was just telling people about for 2 years. I said, hey, man, that's how I talk sometimes. I said, hey, man, I'm going to do a show. It's called Philanthropy and Focus. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to talk to nonprofit organizations and I'm going to help them tell their story and amplify their message. And I walked around saying that for 2 years. Don't do that, is what I'm trying to say. If you're going to do something, and my guest here today, and I've been talking about me doing a show at the network at North Shore TV. So we're going to talk about that. But I'm not going to talk about that for 2 years. I'm just going to do it. I want you all just to lean in and do something. So let's talk about that. Let's talk. I'm unveiling a brand new t-shirt that I had made up. Shout out to my friend Erico and Fred Taffer, Combo Visual Creations. It says hashtag ending the stigma. And then it says below that, there's a group of people and it says together. Hashtag ending the stigma together. Gang, we all have mental health challenges. We're all on a spectrum as it relates to the mental health conversation. I think we must put it out there and we have to realize together, check in on people. Last night we were at an event for one of my ventures called the Philanthropy Network in New York. And we partnered up with the Long Island chapter of the American Association for Suicide Prevention. Okay. It's Suicide Prevention Month, gang. Check in on people. Look out for people, especially you got the young kids going back to school and stuff like that. Life is stressful. Gang, check in on people. I'll have a handful of these t-shirts with me on next Monday, this Monday, the 9th of September, when we do a panel discussion with three of my friends. I'll shout out their names in a second. We're doing a panel discussion at the Nassau County Bar Association here on Long Island. My friend, Jamie Rosen, who is the chair of the mental health committee for the Nassau County Bar Association, saw me do one of these type panel discussions and said, Tommy D, would you take that on the road? Would you bring it to the Bar Association? And I said, how soon? Can we do it this afternoon? Wink, wink, because I'm ready. We got to get out there and have this conversation. So we're doing that on Monday, and it'll be Dr. Larry Grubler from Transitional Services for New York. It will be Yolanda Rabano-Gross from Options for Community Living, and it'll be Neela Mukherjee-Lakhal, who leads EAC Network. 3 organizations here in the Long Island, New York City area that are doing the work, that are serving the people who need the services, that are making the referrals for the people who need the services. Shout out to Jamie Rosen for the invitation. Shout out to my panelists. And really, look at this. What happened to the little boy who got everything he ever wanted? He lived happily ever after, gang. That's what this is. I'm in an opportunity. I'm leaning in. My friend Erica Bradley is here on the program this morning. We're going to talk about, she's like, Tommy D, when we first met, it's like, Tommy D, I already have guests for your show. I go, I don't even think we figured out what my show is going to be. She's like, it's cool. We got guests for it already. So we're going to figure out what that show is. But I like the idea of, and this is what I've been telling people, Erica, about what that show is. It's a show where I get together and I bring really important people having really important conversations together. It's not like somebody has to be in the nonprofit sector. It's not like they have to be a professional services person. They just have to be really making an impact. And I think that's a show people would dig. And what can I tell you? I would watch that show. So instead of watching it, I'd rather host it, because that's much more fun for me. Erica Bradley, my friend, good morning. Little snafus as I started the show today. I got to not hit the wrong buttons. But anyway, that's why I need people like you and the production team. Shout out to Logan over here at TalkRadio.NYC. But I need people in my corner to help me out. How are you, my friend? Good morning. What's going on?
Good morning. You had me panic for a second there.
You thought you were running the show by yourself?
I was like, hello?
How funny is that? Hey, listen, you know what? A friend of mine tells me if there's an elephant in the room, name it. So I screwed up, name it. Moving right along. You know what I'll say to this. If that's the only faux pas I have for this whole day, man, it's going to be a great day. You know what I'm saying?
For real. We actually, when we do live shows here, we do that. We say the same thing. Live TV, there's nothing you can do. You got to move on.
100%, man. You know what? This is not exactly filmed in front of a live studio audience. And that's just for the sheer fact that I couldn't fit a live studio audience up here in the attic with me. Otherwise, we would. But I want to tell you something. And it's funny what you said in our virtual green room. You're like, does anybody else ever get to talk on your show? This is just the beginning of the show. The rest of the show is about you. But yes, you will be talking most of the time. So get ready for that. But what first time I met? Do you remember the first time you and I met?
I do. I don't, do you know? Do you
I,
remember
I,
actually?
what I think was the first time. So I don't know. Let's see what you think.
So I think it was at the Children's Museum,
It was. Yep.
and you said, "Hi, do you know me?"
Really?
You did. Hi, do you know
Oh,
me?
all right. Hey, it was a great show, everybody. We'll see you next week. Is that what you said? Oh, Tommy D. Now we're playing music again. Pull it back, Tommy D. Pull it back. What did I
It
really?
was funny. Everybody did know you. I was literally the only one who did not.
And I probably said you don't. Well, let's fix that. You know what I usually, if and I have heard myself out loud say that, but it's more like, if not, that's my fault. That's what I like to say because like you're a leader of a nonprofit, so I'm like, man, if we don't know each other, that's a mistake. But I remember the next part of that conversation. I didn't remember that arrogant, do you know me part, but I I did remember the part
It
where
was funny.
I'm laughing still. I remember the part where I said. I had made a comment because I joke about this show because I do it in my attic. And I said, Wayne's World. I said, oh, you're like a public access thing. And I was like, do you remember Wayne's World? And I was like, oh, or you said to me, I know Wayne's World, right? Like public access. I said, no, no, that's not even the joke I'm going for. I was saying to you, Erica, someday somebody's going to pick up this show, Philanthropy and Focus, and they're going to have to recreate the attic somewhere, like they did for when Wayne and Garth got like a deal and they recreated Wayne's basement, like in a sound studio and stuff. So, wink, wink. Hello, everybody at North Shore TV. Maybe we're going to recreate the attic in the studio down by you guys. I don't know. Maybe it could happen. You know what I always say? Don't threaten me with a good time, man. I'd like to have to figure that one out. So, right? Like, what do you think about that?
Wait, I think that would be great. And you could have a live studio audience.
And then I could have a live studio on. Do you know I could barely pay attention to the conversation you and I are having? If there was other people in the room and we had to entertain those people, what that would be like, forget about it. That might be too much. Might overload.
I'm sorry. 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm on a live Zoom. I'm so sorry.
Live TV, man, live shows. This is how it goes.
Do you need
So
to leave me something?
every week on the program, what do? We help nonprofits tell their story and amplify their message. And that's what we're going to do today. And Eric and I are going to have that conversation live. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, there have been children that show up in the attic during the show. They happen to be my children. I mean, it's like, I don't always, sometimes you have to use all the details. Sometimes my children show up and try to like get on the live show. I don't know where they get that personality from. I don't know why they're trying to be such performers. I don't know. It must be their mom, Erica. That's probably where they learned to be.
Sorry about that. I'm the only one in the studio right now. And so somebody just came in. It's like, hi.
They said, you need a live studio audience. I'm here. Let So
I didn't know what to do. I was like, hey.
bring them on the show. You know what we do? I do another show. It's called the Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. We're actually recording 2 episodes of that this afternoon. We did an episode at your studio. Valerie Heffron and I and our friend Diane Madden, we came through. We did an episode of Pals a couple months back when Valerie is up here on the island. We're recording a couple episodes later this afternoon. And whenever an animal, like somebody's cat or dog, shows up, like it's not the most professional team. Like we're like, oh, who is that? What kind of animal is that? Bring hello. Oh, this is Buffy. This is my cat Buffy. Buffy's a rescue. And then we get spend 9 minutes on Buffy. I say my dad's dad, my papa used to have a cat called Buffy. And then, I lose hours of my day thinking about that cat. So we're not going to do that today. But, so we met at North Shore, at the Long Island Children's Museum, and we met at a networking event for the Nonprofit Resource Hub, which is an organization that I founded with some partners, all about bringing resources to the nonprofit sector. I love when something is in the name. It's called the Nonprofit Resource Hub. Like it kind of tells you what it is. It's almost like if somebody was out there, like say, let me give you an example. Like if there was a guy running around talking about nonprofit organizations and he called himself the Nonprofit Sector Connector, like people would probably get what that means. I know a guy like that. In fact, I spent a lot of time with that guy, but I think it's important in the name. So we met at the Nonprofit Resource Hub meet and greet. Shout out to the Long Island Children's Museum. I just got invited to an event that they're doing on the 26th. I figured I was going to, it's called Cupcakes and Cocktails. And I figured I was going, but my friend Matt Simone from Nerds That Care just said, James Rocker, and I want you to be our guest. And I said, be our guest, be our guest. Remember that? Remember that? Be our guest.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
One of my faves.
I like that one. That's, last story, and then we'll move on to you, right? I feel, have you watched Jiminy Glick? Do you know Jiminy Glick?
I love Jiminy Glick.
I
You kidding?
love Jiminy Glick. All of a sudden, because I watched a couple Jiminy Glick things, he's like, he does this silly nonsense. I'm not like, I would never do this, and it's all in jest. But he's like, all right, tell me about yourself, but I'm not really that interested, so don't tell me too much. And I get so, so self-true. And then he takes a bunch of glazed donuts and just like smushes it into his face, and he just keeps, it just keeps eating him. Very, very funny. What's his? That's is it Martin Short?
It is Martin Short, yeah.
So there was one I caught the other day where he's interviewing Steve Martin, which is like those two guys are buddies. So that's kind of funny. I got to go
Wait,
back.
where are you seeing that though?
I don't
Those
know.
are all old, right?
Because it's the algorithm, man. I watched something on somewhere on YouTube, and then YouTube goes, "Ooh, Tommy D really likes that. Let's give him more of that stuff."
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
You want to know what I get?
Sure.
So I'm a science nerd, and
Okay.
I get sea turtles where people are rescuing them and taking barnacles off of them.
I would so two things on that. First of all, please share those videos with me. I could get lost in that. That's wonderful. Second, let's go do that together. There's an organization out on Long Island called way out like Riverhead. It's out by the Riverhead Aquarium. They've been on the program, and it's called like I'll look it up. But that's what they do. Like giant sea turtles get like stuck on the beach, and they got to help them get back into the water. So I'm just going to ask you, would you? I'm going to make a proposal. Would you go do that with me one day?
1000%.
Easy as that. That's what we do on this show, changing the world.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to go out there. We're going to hang out with the sea turtles. So I get caught up in aliens, right? I get caught up in like Tony Robbins, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I watch the Joe Rogan show, a lot of these other podcasts. There's a guy called Lex Friedman. So all these things, there's so much. YouTube is the best. I mean, not if you want to like get through your day and be productive, but it's certainly.
If you want to be productive, then no.
Yeah,
but otherwise, it's wonderful.
You want to get stuff done, man. Forget about it. Stay away from it. But well, I want to get into your story. I want to find out about, like I always say, what brought you to quote unquote the work? What brought you to the nonprofit sector, so to speak? In your case, it might be more different. What brought you to the production world? Shout out to Marist, home of the Red Foxes. We'll probably get into maybe a little bit of Marist. By the way, Adrian sent me a note on LinkedIn, our friend and colleague, and she was like saying, "Hey, Tommy D, I need you to hook me up with some nonprofit organizations for some stuff we have going on here at the university." So shout out to Adrian when you listen to this at one point.
Hey.
We have, because I have extra caffeine in the system today, we have we've totally gone through the entire first segment of the program, and I took it over. So it's all about you when we come back. I'm actually not even going to ask you questions. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to go on mute. When we come back, it's going to be Erica Bradley. This is your life. But Erica, remember that show? This is your life. I thought I want to have that. We should do that show at your studio. This is your life. And we like have all these people come from all different parts of someone's life. That would be fun. Let's put a note in that.
I like that too.
Like that. I hope somebody's taking notes. I hope somebody on your team's taking notes. We could always go back.
It's recording.
It's recording. When we come back, Erica Bradley, you're going to tell me your story. You're going to tell me how you end up getting to North Shore TV, what North Shore TV is all about, we're going to do an event together in a couple of weeks, or we are doing an event together a couple of weeks from yesterday, wine tasting. We're going to have some people there. We're going to go on a tour. I'll probably interview some people. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So when we come back, Erica Bradley, North Shore TV, Long Island. What's up? What's the story about? How can we help? How can we get involved? How's that sound for you?
That's good.
Good. I think they're entertained already, but I'm not sure because I haven't been able to like ask anybody because I'm on the show. All right. We will be right back. It's your boy, the one and only nonprofit sector connector. I call myself Tommy D. Hey, check it out. Ending the stigma together. Check in on people. Hug somebody. Right back.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
All right, I'm out. Pause. It's my show, and I like to say that because it means I get to do whatever I want. So you ready? Nonprofits need connection to move in right direct. Come on.
I forgot it.
All
Go
right,
ahead,
so
go ahead.
we do it 2 more times. So
Okay.
when we come back, it's nonprofits need connections to move in right directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy.
Tommy in his attic.
See what I'm talking about? That's what we do on the show, gang. Right there. Performance. That's what it's all about. Love it. Love it. Shout out to my guy Logan just put this out here from YouTube comment. The Monster Catcher's Field Guide says, your philosophy of don't keep saying it, just do it is the whole reason I got our podcast started. Hi there, Tommy D. I'm going to cry. I'm going to, I feel I'm welling up because if that is impactful and people are leaning in and doing the thing they were talking about, dude, I'm inspired, man. I will check you out, Monster Catcher's Field Guide. Send me an email, Tommy D at Philanthropy and Focus, PHOCUS.com, Philanthropy and Focus. Would love to connect, love to learn more about the Monster Catcher's Field Guide. I'm very scared of horror movies. So if you guys are into the horror movies, catching monsters and stuff, I'm worried. If it's monsters like Sully in that Pixar movie, I forget what it is, like where the little girl
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, like with Boo and like the doors and stuff, I can dig that. If you guys are going to have the real monsters, unless it's like Yeti and Bigfoot, because I like to check in on that whole thing and Nessie and Loch Ness and stuff. Anyway, I said I'd be about you, Erica, so we got to pause and go back. But shout out to I love the feedback. It makes me know we're doing something right.
I actually really like horror movies and scary stuff. So
Like what though?
I'm in. Tag me in.
All
Tag me
right,
in.
so get Erica hooked in. Again, I don't know what the field guide is about. I don't know if it's like how to be a monster, how to find a monster. Like, do you want to dress up like a monster? We'll find out because gang from that podcast, check in with your boy. Let's see what's going on. And just don't scare me, man. Like, I don't need to be scared. Erica, my friend,
Lou,
tell me about you.
start with a question. Give me a good question.
So like I want to know, like, a lot of my friends from the nonprofit sector, like, had an experience in their life where they wanted to be in a nonprofit, right? I'm wondering in your case, where they wanted to serve people or they wanted to, their parents were very involved in philanthropy. I'm wondering in your case, though, is this more of a media and production thing? And it so happens that your organization is a nonprofit. So were you drawn more towards the media and that behind the scenes stuff? Like, we talked about Marist. Shout out to Marist. Got a lot of people at Marist. My wife was at New Paltz. My friends were at Marist. We have a lot of stories. Some I don't remember. So that I guess I don't have those stories. But what was it for you? Like, were you in the media track? Like, tell me how that happened.
So if I say that I was in the media track and not really going for a nonprofit, does that make me look bad now?
No, not at all. We end the show. I'll never release it. Nobody will ever hear it. Nobody will ever see it. And I'll just have to figure something out. Of course not. Not at all. No. Good
It's like,
question.
where are we going with this?
No, good question. I love it.
So I went to Marist to get into production, right? And that's what I did. So it was a TV, radio, film major, communications. And when I was in Marist, my mommy got me an internship here.
No kidding.
Yeah. She wrote it in and she decided that that's what I was doing when I was 19. Yeah.
Wait, so you were back like from school?
Yeah, I did a summer internship here. Yeah.
No kidding. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
She found it. I don't even know where she found it. She was like, Erica, I applied for you. You have to go to an interview. And I was 19. So I came out to Great Neck. My predecessor, Shirley Bruno, met me. I had an eyebrow ring. I was like hippy
Right
dippy
on.
looking.
So let's talk about the eyebrow ring, because I still to this day, I think I want to get the eyebrow ring.
It
And
would work.
yeah, I think so too, but I don't know if it would work in all parts of my life, is what I'm saying. No,
I don't know your other part. I don't know
no,
your
I
other
mean, no,
part.
like sometimes I put a jacket on and I sell insurance,
Yeah,
like,
I know. I don't know you that way. So,
yeah, no, I don't even really know me that way much anymore. To be honest with you.
well, I'll tell you, my eyebrow ring got really infected and my eye blew up and it turned into a disaster. So,
All right.
no choice.
Cool. All right. Fair enough. So you're there, you're just like hippy dippy, like you said, you're intern, and you're like, do you say, oh wow, I could kind of, this is where I want to be? I mean, because now
Yeah, well, so I loved it. Like I love production. It's fun. It's not really, it's not really work. It's creative. You get to work with a team. I really, really, really enjoyed it. So that's where I stuck. And then I graduated,
Mhm.
Marist, like a few years ago.
Yeah,
And
I didn't graduate from Marist, but we all graduated a couple of years ago. I was going to say, I mean, you're celebrating your 8th year at the studio, right? Since the internship and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, then I graduated Marist and I was in independent film for a while.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Like because I hang out with now all these people that are like filmmakers and stuff like that, and I'm always chatting people up and things. So when you're in that world, you were like production. What does that mean to somebody like me who doesn't really live in that world?
Depends on, it depends on the role that you're taking. I got an internship at the Tribeca Film Center.
No kidding.
Yeah, but I was like, an intern. I was making coffee and I was filling up the, copy machines and delivering mail. But I was delivering mail to like, Bobby De Niro and
kind of a big deal. You get to get this one says it's for Bobby D. Let me go bring this. I'll grab that one. Yeah.
He was on the 8th floor. I was like, oh, I got eight. Don't worry.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Chaz
cool.
Palminteri would walk through there. I was loving that. So I was a pretty good intern, but that's what I did there. And then, I got an internship with an independent film company that was in the Tribeca Film Center. So I did a second internship there. That was called Matanti Films. They hired me. And so they did production and then they turned into distribution.
Okay.
So I wrote taglines and read scripts and, did little reports on all that. Met somebody else, moved on to a different distribution company called Lot 47 Films.
Okay.
And then I was the delivery person. So back then there was actually film.
Okay. Yeah, like in big cans,
big, heavy cans. Yeah.
So I was texting my partner on the other show, pals. I shout out to Valerie Heffron. I was texting her. I was like, "We're gonna do 2 episodes today. Get them in the can." Now there's really no can, but like
nobody knows what can means.
No, but I like to say it because I'm in the business, man. So I like to say that word. but like literally, like everything, there were cans. Like it was a thing. It was like big round thing, right?
Big octagon, heavy cans.
Yeah.
And if you had to carry them across the city because maybe you forgot to set up a delivery, dragging them through the subway, it's not easy. Somebody had to do that. I was in a skirt, dragging my cans around.
That's a wonderful. She was in her skirt, dragging her cans around. Okay, this is industry related, gang. Stop it. Stop what you're all doing right now. That's inappropriate behavior. What you all thinking? I had to do it. It was there.
There it is.
I had to do it. But all that work, bringing the cans of film around the city and stuff. It reminds me of when Greg Brady had the blueprints and he dropped the blueprints out of that like messenger thing.
Yes.
Remember that? Oh,
yes, I do.
I felt so bad. And if he was just paying attention to what he was doing, he probably had the ADHD. But if he was just paying attention, he wouldn't have dropped the blueprints and it wouldn't have been a whole thing. He wouldn't have got punished. And oh my God. But that type of work, was it exciting because you were hanging around by like the creative people and doing, like, you probably met a lot, like you said, Chaz Palminteri and Bobby D and stuff like that. Like, I want to the question is on my mind, and I must ask you: is there anybody that you wanted to meet like that when you met? You were like humming, like like so in all of your endeavors, like any sort of celebrity or anything like that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was
Yeah.
Bob De Niro. Was in the elevator with him and his two, at that time, he had like two little twins, and
Yeah.
it's just, and I was what, 21 maybe,
So
and
is
that
it
was
like,
Bobby De Niro.
can you say hello? Like, are you like enamored and you
No,
can't?
no, 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 no. Because, when you work in a facility like that, he owned, he ran it. So you maybe you say hello and you nod, but
Right.
you don't approach anybody. There's tons of famous people going through it. Tom
Yeah.
Cruise, actually okay. So there was a woman who worked downstairs at the entrance.
Uh-huh.
Whoopi Goldberg came in. She got too excited,
Oh,
started
no.
screaming, "Whoopi, Whoopi," and then she got fired.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta, this is like the film center. So
Yeah, yeah. I see, I wonder. I think if I met, like, it's funny, my brother used to go to this, he used to travel, and wherever he was traveling, like he traveled the same place, like where he vacationed, where Paul McCartney was vacationing, right? And like they were like in a restaurant together, and like, 5 feet away is Sir Paul McCartney. Gang, he's one of the Beatles. Maybe you heard of him. But I don't know my audience. So I don't know everybody, Eric. I have to make sure we're very inclusive. He was
fair
one of
enough.
who are the Beatles, right? That's the next question. Google it, man. Google it. But so if I think if I was in a room with McCartney and it was like, hey, Paul, this is Tommy D. I think there would be a little bit like, I like to be like tough about it. Like, oh, I'd be cool. Like, hey man, love your music, love you guys. Very inspirational. But I wonder what would really happen. Like, would I be like all dry mouth, and would I not be able to talk to him, and like would I freak out? Like, I wonder about, like, that's some of the people at the top. Like, I mean, there was only ever four. It's only
You
two
know
of
what?
us.
You have to, yeah, I think it depends on the person too. So say like, okay, so I was 22. So that's 21, 22. That's where this story is coming from. I
Right,
was with my friend. Her parents owned, like, okay, here, I'm dating myself again, a jingle company.
right.
So they wrote jingles.
Yeah.
People don't do that anymore. We
Well,
went out.
we wrote one for this show,
Yeah,
nonprofit.
that's right.
You know,
Tommy in the attic. So we went out drinking. We came around, back to the center, and who's there but Quentin Tarantino.
oh, that's cool.
It was very cool. Back then he was,
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We had a few drinks in us. We were like, Quentin, where are we going? He put his arms around us. We were hanging.
That's pretty cool.
But it depends on the person.
Right
You're
on.
not going to do that to Paul.
No, I get no, and I guess like I wonder, like it's just because, I remember who even like, so I grew up big hip hop fan, but I was also I loved Nirvana and that whole movement at the time when I was younger and stuff like that. And but I love all types of music, but I think there's just some people that, like, I was gonna say Eminem. Like, I think it got out of control. Like, he had some songs about it where like people won't leave these people
Yeah.
alone. Like, I can't imagine that. Like, you get what is that your dream? Is that what you want? Well, now you got it, right? And now there's warts on this. What this situation was supposed to be perfect. It's not perfect, right? But I think you got to find a way to leave people alone, not and just like let them live their lives. Like,
You got to give them their space.
Right?
They're just people.
Yep.
And you know what? You're talking about mental illness.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the anxiety and stress that they must have
No,
living
no,
that way 24/7?
I can't. But shout out to my t-shirt. I'm shouting out my t-shirt now. Ending the stigma together. I got 20 of these in my car. So if you want a t-shirt, let's hook up, let's talk. I'm going to be giving some to my panelists on Monday. I actually this is Pete Best at AOL.com checking in. I got to just Pete Best. He says, Tommy, I was one of the Beatles as well. Before Ringo. Sorry, Pete Best, I forgot about you. Didn't mean to do that. So apparently there were 5 Beatles at one point. That's a joke, everyone. He's got a Gmail. So I see that as like a lot of fun, but at the same time you were working. You were doing the internship, but kind of lower on the totem pole, as
Yep.
they say, and kind of like doing a lot of the grunt work, right?
Yeah, but you work hard. So I'll just say that I worked really hard. I've never had to apply for a job.
Yeah, because of relationships and connection.
because of relationships and connections.
Oh, isn't that nice? I've heard something about that.
Yeah. But you have to work hard too. You got to show yourself. You got to show how you can really, dig in no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Clean out. I was cleaning out, supply closets. I was, doing, but I did it the best.
Yeah, 100%. Best supply closet cleaner outer on all of the East Coast. Everything east of the Mississippi. So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back because we got to breaks on the show. Otherwise, I get in trouble with people. So we're gonna take a break. Logan, I'm just kidding. We'll go to a break. So to take a break, we come back. I want to understand. You started at North Shore TV, and then you're doing all these other things. Eventually, you get back to North Shore TV, and I want to hear about that. Can we do that when we come back?
You know it.
I hope so, because I didn't know what else to ask you about. The kid, El Nino, Tommy D, right back. Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy and Phocus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Were you an essential worker during the pandemic? If you needed to learn stages of epilepsy, did you depend on advocates? Did you use new innovations to cope with mental and neurological issues? Maintaining high quality of life and keeping good mental health are what we all strive for. I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each week top healthcare influencers, professionals, and innovators answer these questions and more. Stay tuned on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will continue to be frank about health with all of you.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
That's right, gang. But don't here's the deal. Join the show, follow the show, plug in, pay attention. But the attic is not that big, so don't literally join me up here. Don't come. If I see you on the porch, I'll know you're trying to get to the attic. But there's not a lot of room up here. So let's go out for coffee. I'll take you to a place called Honey's Bistro. Nice place. They got good coffee. They do an espresso, shaken, frozen espresso drink. Really good. Do you drink coffee?
Do I? I live on it. It's my blood.
Yeah. See, I don't like caffeine that much, so I don't mess with it that much.
You are caffeine.
Yeah, that's right, man. What blood type are you? Caffeine. So through the journey, when you were working at these different production companies and stuff like that, what type of the work, is production is like saying nonprofit. You and I joked about your organization, your company, your station is a nonprofit organization, but so here on Long Island is Northwell Health, and so is this small food pantry down the street, right? All these things are nonprofit. So production, in that case, what did you sort of take to and go, oh, this is my bag? I know it wasn't cleaning out closets, like you said. It was probably more than that.
No, nothing wrong with it. No, so I really actually like the hands-on part, which I didn't get to do that much. So in terms of the physical production, like camera work, directing, shooting, that's not where I ended up. I did a few, I was a production assistant on a couple of small films, and it was awful. It was awful.
Yeah.
I was standing out in the rain and the cold, minding a truck.
Yeah, that's for hours and days.
For hours.
Brutal.
In front of the tunnel. The tunnel, the club?
Yes. Yeah. So is that before cell phone? Because at least now you can play like Candy Crush or something like that.
Oh
or
yeah, no, yeah, of
whatever,
course.
YouTube. Yeah, this is before, because now we can entertain ourselves for days because we have this computer
Right.
on our head, right? But
Right,
this
yeah,
is
no, I was just
before
out
that.
in the cold, just staring at equipment in a truck for hours and hours. So
Wow.
listen, you gotta pay your dues, right? So
Right.
that's what I did. And then, but I got into this other place through my internship. And originally it was production and moved into being distribution company, which means you buy a film that's already in the can
Okay.
and then you distribute it to movie theaters and
Got it.
festivals and so forth.
So
So
you're working for the distribution company.
I was working for the distribution company.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
So two of them. The last one that I wound up on was called Lot 47. I'm trying to think of what nobody's gonna know any of them.
No,
There
no.
was one with Chris Walken. It was called Scotland, PA, which is like my favorite. But
Is it the movie? So we should check it out.
I mean, I thought it was good.
Did you get to meet him?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, because it was already in the can, right?
It was already in the
But
can.
like, I
Yeah.
didn't know if maybe it somehow through, because I would like to meet that man. Like, that's somebody. He's just like a bit of a wild one. I think
I think that would be difficult to have a conversation with him. I think it might not be easy.
So you be because of the two people in the conversation, or just because I'm talking to him.
I think you wouldn't know if he's being serious or not, or yeah, I think that'd be a struggle, but
I would like to hang out with that guy. He seems like fun. I would have to mellow it down a little bit, though. I think I'd have to slow down my pace for that conversation. I think I would.
maybe, who
I think I would.
knows?
I don't know.
I think he's quick. He's quick. I'm sure he's quick.
Like that's my best impression. That's all I got. He's the only one I do. I don't
Oh,
do.
wait,
no,
did you do it? I missed
I just
it.
did crazy, like that whole thing that he did. Isn't he the more cowbell guy? He do cowbell on.
He's a cowbell, of course. Yes, yes.
More cowbell. Yeah, and he's just like who's really cool? Who I think would be. I don't know if he is really cool, but I like John Malkovich. I think he's cool. I think he seems like a like a really interesting character. I wonder if these people are like, you ever see this movie, and then we'll get back to North TV, but there's this thing about Jim Carrey when he did the movie Man on the Moon about Andy Kaufman. I love Jim Carrey, even like I like Jim Carrey now more than comedian Jim Carrey, like philosopher Jim Carrey, but he kind of lost who Jim Carrey was and became Andy Kaufman. And like it's a trip. It's a great movie, and I watched it when I was traveling one time, and I watched it again. It's really, check it out. I think it's called Jim and Andy or something. I'll look it up in a second. But have you seen that?
Man in the Moon, it's called.
Yeah, but that's the movie. But they did a documentary where they basically.
Oh yes, I've seen it. Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they.
I love
filmed-
documentaries. I've seen them all.
It's like awesome. Like he never came out of character. Like
That's
never.
that's a whole way of acting though. People
Oh, yeah.
do that.
Yeah, and
It's so weird.
Andy Kaufman's daughter came to visit Jim as Andy, and they had like a connection. Anyway, go check that out. I think it's like being Andy or becoming Andy. What goes on at North Shore TV? Like, what is like? Let's hit him with like the mission. I mean, I came to you and I was like, dude, let's just do a show. I want to do a show. And I told you this last night when we were talking. I said, look, I know that much that I could do a show there, and we're going to do some fun stuff. And we did an episode of Pals there, Professionals and Animal Lovers show. And there's more to it than that. Like I see it through my lens, right? Tell us like from that whole big, as the executive director, what people need to know about North Shore TV. What can people learn from, get there, do there?
So first of all, somebody else is coming into
Somebody else is coming in. This is the greatest. I love it. I love it.
So this is okay. So this is perfect because this is who we are. We're a community media center,
Right.
So we have 2 studios, a production studio where I'm in, and we're open to the community. So people just walk in and they see, they come and they do what they have to do, and they pop into doors even when you're live on a Zoom.
I love that.
So we are here we really serve the community, but we're a public access television station. We've been around since 1984. And so what that means is our mission is to produce programming that reflects the interests and concerns of the community. Okay. And so in terms of that is we do our own programming here, and we'll go out and say, shoot the local elections that are happening.
Okay.
or the Memorial Day parade, or anything that has to do with the community that we think people would want to see, with the schools, nonprofit organizations, that sort of thing. In addition, people come into the studio and we teach them from the very beginning to the very end, from writing a script to editing a piece and getting it on our channel, how to create their own programming. And then we have all different types of programs that fit within to those. So it's media training skills, work ready skills. We do programs with veterans. We do programs with children, teens. I'm trying to get a senior program growing.
What do you
So
want to do
there's-
with that? What do you want to do with the senior program? Because there's people listening. Maybe they have some ideas.
So there's a whole senior population that I know, like, including, like, I see my mom that, could use things to do during the day. So why wouldn't you come here? We'll show you how to use the studio. You could create your own programming. You could either be on camera, you could direct, or, and you could be in front of the camera, and
I love that program. I love that whole idea. That's so great. I mean, I find this is such a painting with such a broad brush, but I find in our society here in the United States of America, I believe we don't honor our elderly, our seniors, our people of age who have incredible wisdom and incredible stories. And I feel in a lot of cases we don't honor them. And in other cultures, maybe I should have said culture, in other cultures, individuals of the older years are revered and looked to for their wisdom, right? And taken care of, right? And I think we could do better of that. And what a cool concept that would be, to have stories by people who have these lived experiences of 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years. Maybe at 46, let's not say 60 is seniors, although probably by definition might be. But I don't. But I tend to, I don't know what it is, ever since I was little, I feel like I was connected with older people, and I love to be told the story. I don't know about you, Erica, like as flagrant as jumping around and all the stuff, I do like to shut up and listen to people and hear.
Oh yeah. Have you ever
Storytelling.
we used to take my husband's grandmother up to visit his parents in Massachusetts, and we would be driving, and so she was, she passed away, but she lived till she was like 92.
Yeah.
And we'd sit there and be like, "Oh, traffic," and she'd be like, "Yeah, but the roads, aren't they wonderful?"
Oh, I love her.
And you're like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean?" And she's like, "They're paved." She had like dirt roads,
Yeah,
She would be
yeah.
like, "Get me my grip." And she lived through so much, right? The
Yeah.
Depression, and she would tell all of these stories and all these wars, and she's seen from not having a phone, TV,
Yep.
now having like everything in a little tiny device, right? Can you
Incredible.
imagine?
No, I can't. And it's funny. I was away with my parents a couple weeks ago, and my whole family, my sister, her family, the whole, and my old man, I like to call him that because he hates it, but he's 73. My father works, he's got a business, he's like got a lot going on, right? But I said to him, and I didn't mean it to be a wise guy, but because of who I am, he kind of, I think, thought it. I go, no, I'm not even breaking your chops. I'm serious, right? So I was like, in your lifetime, like we were watching TV or something like that. I go, in your lifetime, just like to think, he's born in 51. Like I said to him, because what I had said was, look, did you have a TV in your house, like right away, like your whole life? Do you remember that? And he thought I was giving him a hard time. And I go, no, like honestly, like that's 73 years. Like things are crazy different. And now you're talking about a woman who's 92. You say she lived through the Great Depression. I mean, holy cow. Like, how do you even, the advancement is out of control. I mean, like in your children, my children, this device, right? Like in your hand has like more computing power. The whole world. Wait till my guy, now he's my guy, Tommy. Wait till my guy Elon starts to really get this neural link going, and everybody's
your guy?
Yeah. I see how I did that one. I love that's why I laughed. Nobody knew what I was saying until I knew. But my guy Elon, Elon, love you, Tommy D. But he, like, this neural link is going to be, he says, like, how inefficient it is to text in the information to a computer or to your phone, and it's much more efficient, and save time when it's connected directly to your brain. How about that?
I don't want anything connected to my brain.
Please. It makes me a little. There was a movie a long time ago. You mentioned Tom Cruise, Minority Report, I think it was called, and people were getting arrested for crimes that they didn't even commit yet, but they thought about committing.
Yeah.
What?
You don't need to know what's going on up here.
Dude, you asked me in the chat before, because I sometimes refer to myself as El Nino, like a hurricane or the kid. And I go, why you said El Nino in the chat? And I said, yeah, because my mind is like a hurricane, because it constantly. like the Tasmanian devil. Like that. Maybe there's no, no coincidence, same initials as Tasmanian devil and Tommy D. So we're gonna go to a break. When we come back, I want to understand, because when I first met you, I was like, what do you need? Like, how can we help? And a lot of my friends in the nonprofit sector say to me, Tommy D, we're the best kept secret. And nobody wants to be the best kept secret. They want everybody to know about them, especially when we have these resources. We can teach people, we can bring people what they need, we can help people, overcome challenges in their life. So you don't want to be the best kept secret. North Shore TV does not want to be the best kept secret, right? I want you to be a secret still, because I want to be the king when I do all sorts of shows. And I'm worried that the more people we tell about this great resource, the more people are going to want to do shows. And then I'm going to run out of time for me. And you're going to be like, Tommy, we're sorry, we're busy now. But I kid, but I guess I'm a little serious. But it's when we come back, what do we need? Honestly, we have an event you and I are doing in 2 weeks. We're going to do a wine tasting. We'll talk about that. I know you have a big 40th anniversary, which, you know what? It's funny. You said that station started in 84. I started in 1978. That's when I was, that's when we began this organization called Tommy D. Maybe organism is better. But like, what do you need? How can we help? Who should we get to hang out with us on the 19th and beyond? How's that sound when we come back?
Sounds great.
I have to go take a breath. You know what? Before we go, namaste in the attic. All right, we'll be right back. Namaste.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Broncu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy and Phocus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
All right, so there's some extra energy in the body today. I don't know what it is. I'm having a lot of fun, and then I have to go put on a business Tommy outfit, in a couple minutes. So it's kind of funny that we have to do that. The movie I was talking about before is called Jim and Andy: The Great Beyond. Check it out. It's out there, man. I love it. The other thing is, my guy Mick Collins, Pay Forward Processing, my buddy, he tells me on YouTube, Minority Report, the people actually commit the crime. They just get arrested and charged before it happens. LOL, which I think is laugh out loud. But I think, so I had to Google it. So Mick, here's what it says. If you Google this, you go to the, I love Wikipedia, shout out to them. They always ask me for money when I go on the website. Maybe I should send them money. So it's 3 clairvoyant humans or precogs receive psychic impressions of an impending homicide, and the officers analyze the visions to determine the location and apprehend the perpetrator before the crime happens. So that's okay. So if somebody thinks about doing something, these people are able to see the future. They stop them from doing it, but they get arrested anyway. I got to call foul on that. I got to watch the movie again because you didn't actually do the thing. You only thought about it. So my description was off. Mick's, I think, description is off. but I still don't think people should get arrested for something they didn't do. Whole nother story for another show. Has nothing to do with this, other than it popped into my head before, and we talked about it. So I figured we have to go through it. Do you love this? Do you love how this?
Wait, I have a sidebar for you. You
Of
know
course.
that you should never really use Wikipedia because
Why?
you could change it. It's not all
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, so Mick, maybe somebody changed that, Mick. Maybe Mick's right. Mick Collins might be right. I don't know. Early in the show, many years, from first couple of years, I depended on Mick. I would ask a question and Mick would like give me the answer on Facebook or YouTube. So, so Mick, I'm gonna have to. We'll just say we'll leave this one open. Was it you and I talking last night when I said something and you said I digress, and I said I don't really digress. I tangent. Is that
Yeah.
you? Because
Yeah.
like that's what happens here. So you're like, I have a sidebar. My whole life is a sidebar. Like I found I would weave into 3 conversations and I'd have to fold them back together to like complete them. And I never knew.
Yeah.
I never knew I had a beautiful brain. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was
A
88.
beautiful mind.
Yeah, well, like John Nash. So another good thing. What goes on at North Shore TV in the sense of how can we get connected? Who should we bring through? That sort of thing.
So I would love anybody to come through here. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the wonderful thing about this space is because it's open to all, right?
I
It
love
doesn't
that.
matter. Yeah,
I-
it doesn't matter what your idea is because that's what we're here to help you, everybody to be
Yeah.
able to come in and produce what's important to you. There's somebody who's interested in what you're interested in.
You
Right.
know,
So if you're here to spread, to do something that you feel that you want to showcase, or if you're here to just learn a skill. And look, you could learn a skill in here, and it doesn't mean that you have to go out into TV production or to learn, to try to be on some kind of show.
right.
The skills you learn here really enhance communication skills.
I love that.
So if you're in front of the camera, you learn how to, do some public speaking, which is what we have to do all the time, and I hate it.
Yeah. Do you really? Do you hate it?
Hate it.
So why?
Because I'm shy. I don't like it. I don't like people staring at me.
So let me. Yeah. Yes,
Well, I'll
there's
do
one-
this show.
That's one of the ways we differ. I'm like, come on, stare more. Look, I'm
I
over
know.
here. Can you see me? I'm the guy in the front.
Do you know me?
Yes, but that's what's funny. So here's the thing, like, and I'm glad, at least in our interaction, you're comfortable and you're like, we're vibing and you're digging the whole thing. And when people, and I'm not to say I don't get nervous or anxious. I think nerves are cool because I think it means we care. And I always tell my kids, why are you anxious? Well, because you want to do a good job. What I've said to people, even in this show, and I don't think this is a very, I don't think anybody should be shy to come on this program. But what I say to people is it's not about it isn't about you or me. It's about the mission. It's about the organization. So like I've said to some of my guests who go, I got a little bit of nerves, Tommy D. I said, ain't about you, man. It's not about me. It might look like it's about me, but it's not. It's about the organization. So I was just trying to say, like, if we can, not easy, but get the ego and all that nonsense out of the way and go, I'm here, Tommy D. I'm here to spotlight this organization. In your case, Erica, you're here to spotlight the mission of your organization. And if we get our own nonsense out of it, and again, I have no clinical background, just 46 years of knowing people and being alive. I just think like, all right, throw that nonsense away and let's serve the mission. I don't know if it works. People used to say, up here, what do you do? They look at the audience and picture everybody in their underwear. I don't know why you'd want to do that, man.
Yeah,
like
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm like all set. Like there's a lot of audiences like, I'm really, that's not exactly what I want to see. But I can't believe it. My friend Logan is telling me behind the glass, other side of the glass, fake glass because it's Zoom. But he's telling me we're running out of time. He said we got 3 minutes to go. What's upcoming? We got to get a lot of people in. You and I are doing a wine tasting on the 19th. Send me an email if you're interested. Tommy D at Philanthropy in Focus, PHOCUS.com. I'll get you the details on the wine tasting. Darcy Carlton will be doing the wine tasting. We're bringing people through. We're going to do a tour. Well, you and I probably interview some people, or I'll interview some people. You'll be behind the camera, however. What else is coming up? I know it's the 40th anniversary that I started to talk about before.
Yep, 40th anniversary of this organization. We're going to be doing a gala in Great Neck.
Okay.
So if you're interested, please reach out, info@nstv.org. And then one more quick thing. We're doing a Women in Media workshop, and that's starting on October 12th.
Okay.
And if you're interested in that as well, info@nstv.org. And I'll give you all the information. Please come take a tour, though. I would love to show you this space.
So
Really. Open
here's the
all.
deal. open to all. Come take a tour. I will be there on the 19th. We're going to do some tours. On the 24th, I'll be there as well. I'm sharing this. This is on Instagram. Your Instagram is NSTV Long Island. Let's see. Thomas P. DiNapoli, who has a capital N in his name, and I have a capital M in my name. Shout out to you if your family decided to put 2 capital letters in your name. I always thought that was the coolest thing. Just why not? Do whatever you want. Like, it's like spelling the word focus wrong. Whatever you want to do. And you all spell it wrong when you put an F in front of it because it's supposed to be spelled with a PH, gang. New York State Comptroller, and then also you're honoring, am I correct? Robert Schofield. Is he the president of the board?
Yep.
Board president. Okay. And then William Clemency and on the board of directors. So just like come through to these events, gang. Support the organizations in your community. That's what I always say. I'm fun to hang out with. I'll be at these events. I'd love to talk to you and take a picture with you. What else? We got to go. So what else can we leave them with?
Just please feel like reach out to me, ask me any questions you want. I'd really love to help you get your message out.
So do you know I always wanted to be a game show host?
No way.
Yes.
You'd be a perfect game show host.
Welcome back. Like that.
Perfect.
Kind of yeah. So let's do a game show. I was thinking about it when I was at the studio. Mike, right? Mike showed me around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He showed me like, it was a gang of kids. They weren't a gang of kids. It was a group of students.
Teen TV. Yeah.
They did like a Jeopardy kind of show. But what a cool thing. I'd love to, like, what if we did a game show? Like the nonprofit challenge with Tommy D. Like, and how about that? Take that back with you. Let's play that game where we like pit these nonprofit leaders against each other in like trivia, or better yet, remember Double Dare? What if we make nonprofit executive leaders come through on like a Double Dare show and like whoever wins gets money?
Or just slime them?
Slime them. Nickelodeon, if you're listening, I'm coming for you. All right. Erica Bradley is my friend. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Logan, thanks for doing the work behind the glass. This has been a great show. I've kind of lost it today. I actually have to go be a businessman in a couple minutes. I have to fix something. I don't know. Appreciate you all. Make it a great day. We'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you, Erica.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.